Hi, my name is Alessandro Angelosi and that's a video tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for Max Cookie. This time we have to continue working on the Planet Earth series, and last time on the part 2 we worked on one of the particle paths we'll use to create some effects over the clip. And this time I'd like to come back to create some effects over the shader, the planet shader. So the main purpose is to create a rowing wave there over the planet, creating some changes to the planet. So we'll see change in the colors, and maybe we'll have to see some kind of effects as the depth of the planet's surface. And we'll create also some masks that maybe can be useful later to work on the fluids, for example, to create some dust wave over the planet, and then also to decide where we have to destroy the surface to create some destruction and debris. So let's go back to the shader there. And that's the scene we used on the part 2, so we have to go back to the scene for part 1. So I go to open the other one on the planet there, details, and pick the scene. Okay, that's the scene. And I need also to decide where we like to destroy. So first of all, let's go there and let's say that this planet is see-through, so we can see when the camera passes through this one. So I'd like to create some kind of effects also there, so we have something really slow over the surface, and then it will be better and better, so we have a really big hole there with all the stuffs collapsing to the center of the planet. So let's select this one, and we have to go inside the material editor. Okay, that's our material. I'm not using the slate material because it's really big and we have not so much space when we are recording. So that's the planet surface, and we have also a layer of clouds. So on the clouds we should work, for example, creating a fluid layer of clouds and then moving it. We'll see if we have time to do something like that, because I'd like also to move on and move forward to a new series. So let's see, there inside the composite we have some layers, and I like to make changes directly on all layers. And to do this we can, for example, add a new layer there, or we can mix another layer there. So we can, for example, use there the color correction, and we say that we have a composite. Okay, keep all map, so we'll use the color of the planet as basic map, and let's start working. So the first one is something that will change the color of the planet, and to change the color of the planet we need, for example, a map, and to create the map we can use a gradient ramp. Okay, and we need a different mapping, so let's go there and we can assign a UVW map, and we'll use another alignment and fit, X and fit. So you can see there we have a frontal map, and we need to align to the center there. Let's say that this one is map channel number 2, and inside the material editor this one is map channel 2. So we should see the map there, but we have to say that the gradient is a radial gradient. Let's hope to see something. It's not so simple. Let's go on a perspective view. I don't see the map for the moment. Okay, we can copy this one. Let's say that we use this map, or maybe another slot, this one, and paste assistance assigned to the planet, and then there. So it's out of the nested map, so we are able to see it. I need to have white there and black there. We have black there, sorry, this one we don't need it, and we have black here too. Okay, so you see we have the possibility to decide where the map is going, but we can remove this one and we can say that this one is black, so we have just to animate this one, this point. So let's imagine that first of all we have to move it, and let's say that we have no tiling, and this one is a little bit okay in another place. So let's see, let's go in the camera, let's see if it is in a good position. We have just to move it a little bit, let's say 15. Okay, so it's near the middle where we have the effects there. Let's go back, and we need to animate this one. So that means that we have, for example, the map there at the beginning, and then we see this one growing and growing, and when we stay there, maybe the entire planet is colored by this map. Obviously at the center is higher the level, and in the other part is lower. I like to be slower at the beginning, so let's close there, let's go at full screen, and let's go in the animation, and let's go on the map, maps, gradient ramp, flag 2, okay, position. So let's say that this one is linear and this one is slower, so you see it's moving slower and then it expands faster. So close, and let's go to save this one in the new folder for the part 3. Okay, and close the auto key. So we have this map animated, and that's just the beginning. Okay, so now we can create the color of the dirt, but we have to go there and we have to reassign this material to the planet. So select this one and we have back our material, but sorry, that's the cloud. Okay, and we need the planet. Okay, so now you see that we have the animation, and that's really good. And let's go there, and we have to assign a map. We can use the same map, or we can directly use, for example, a color. Let's think about an RGB tint, and it can be really dark brown but with low saturation, and it must be darker. Okay, and you see that it is appearing there. And let's go for a subtraction or maybe a multiplication. Okay, let's see what happens, for example, when we are there at this frame. Save, single frame, no saving, no elements, and let's go to set a low value for rendering and other stuffs. Let's render. We have to assign the map, so because before I selected the wrong objects, the cloud, so we can cut there, select the planet, and paste. Let's re-render. Now it is preparing the displacement for the planet, and you see that it is rendering there. And we have a dark area over the planet, but we need obviously to do something also on the cloud, so we'll see later how to solve this problem. Maybe we can in any way decide to obscure the map. Okay, let's imagine how it will be rendered when we have more and more layer and more dark area. So let's go back there and let's see a later frame. Let's remove just for the moment the displacement and let's render, so it will be really fast. Okay, you see that there we have a dark area, but we need another marker because we have no visualization for the dead color, for example, there. So let's go inside the map there. Okay, and this one must be animated. So let's go in the on the map there, and we have to go where we have the key. So by key and there. Let's say that we have another map there, another color, let's say, okay, and auto key and there. Okay, we have to move it carefully. Let's say position 1 or 0. Okay, let's see if it works fine. No, because okay, we have to select the other, and there you can say edit. We stay there at 2. Okay, then let's say that there we have a white color, and we move this one at the beginning at position 1, and here it will be do something like that. Now it should work, but obviously it is faster, so we have to tune it manually. Okay, now it should works. Okay, let's stop and save. So now we can check again the rendering. We have the Earth in front of us, so let's check there. And you see we have a really big area with this map over. So let's say that the multiplication is maybe 50%, 65%, 70%. 25 is too low. 80. So I'd like maybe to change in a strange way the color. So let's go there and let's say that we are using a blue color. And I'm making some tests there just to see what happened. Okay, you see that we have a darker area on the planet. Let's see when the area is little what happens. Is there and it's not so visible, so I like to make something different. Let's use the same map, but with the color correction we'll change completely the color. And we have a normal, or maybe subtract. Okay, you see that there we have a more red color with some blue, but I prefer to have something different, so let's go there and let's see, for example, with the color burning. Okay, you see that we have maybe this blue area are not so good. Let's see now. Okay, you see that we have this red there. Okay, and now I like to work on the edges, because you see that the edges are completely linear, but I like to create some kind of turbulence to make it more natural, and we have to do it with a more little noise. So let's say 0.25, and let's say also a lower value, 0.1 for example. Okay, and then let's say we have something similar over the cloud. So there, let's say that we have a composite keypole map, and there we use the path distance, and there we use just maybe a color as an RGB tint. I will use a black. And we use a multiply. Let's say 70%. And we need the cloud layer to have the same map. So I passed it the same map. Let's see there the cloud. Let's try to do it darker. Okay, it is better. So now we have a darker area on the planet, and we have also a darker area on the clouds. Okay, now I'd like to do another thing, and I mean I'd like to add another process there that will be something like a burning effects. So let's go there. Let's go there, and let's use a similar map. So let's do a copy, but this one will be black there, and let's try with solid. Okay, and there will be white, or maybe there is black. Okay, there and there. And there we can use an RGB tint, and now we use just the red color just to see if it works. It is not working in the right way. So I like to come back to linear because I like to have a little bit of fall off there, and we have to undo. We have to play a little bit there with the key. So let's animate, and there at 0, edit properties, it is 1. So we have this one is 2, and we say maybe 4, or maybe 3. And the one that was 1, we say 2. Okay, so then we need another key there. We say black, and this one will be there, and there it will be 1. So we should have this one moving in the right way, and let's remove the key there. It should be black, sorry, and this one must be deleted. So this one, edit properties, will be white, and this one is white too. Okay, so now we need another key. I have to control if I animated the color. So let's select the planet, and let's go inside the maps, and we animated this one. the gradient ramp. And you see that we have some animation in the color too. Now it should works. Let's see. Okay, it is black, but it is again animated, and this one is the flag number 6, so animated this one too. Let's pick this key, and now we should have no more animation. Edit properties. Let's try to give it a black color. Okay, let's check this one. The gradient ramp is really bad because the resolution is not so good, but we have to try to use it to solve this problem. So I'm fixing the speed. Okay, now we need to solve the problem there. Let's go at the key, and let's say that there we have white, there we have still the key. Okay, let's remove the auto key, and this one must be white. Okay, so we have an area that will be red. Now we have to fix having another flag. So let's say that there we have a black flag, auto key, and there, and let's say that maybe we stay there, then we stay there, and then let's try with 10. Okay, so you see that it is moving on the border. Perfect. So this one is black and this one is black. And back on the material, but we have to fix some stuff because you see that we have the center also visible, So okay, I just redone it in the same way. I think we had some problem there, created the map. I done it in the same way, and now we have it working. We have just to have minus 0015 there. So let's say minus 0015, and there we have 001. And we have also the noise there. We have 01 and 025. So zero 01, 025, and we have the fractal one. Okay, so let's copy over it, and let's remove this one. Let's say that we have a red color. Okay, let's use the other one too, and the animation is a little bit faster, so we have to tweak it. But you see that we have this wave there. Okay, let's work on this wave. First of all, let's change the noise. So let's say that we have maybe 0.05, and the sides will be 1, and that's a turbulence with more detail. Let's see how it looks. Okay, you see that it is different than before. And I like to change the key, but before I have to change the key also there. So let's select the planet, and let's go there inside the maps, diffuse, mask 2, gradient ramp. Okay. Okay, this one will be linear, and we need a slower. Okay, then linear, and this one will be slower. Then this one linear, and there slower, and this one linear and slower. Let's see if it works now. It is still maybe a little bit faster than I like, but let's go step by step. Let's remove this one, and there let's say maybe we'll have something like that, and we can try with a color burn. Let's see how it looks. I don't like so much, so let's go for an average, or maybe an addition with a lower value, so we have still the colors of the ground, but we have this color over. Or maybe we can try with a completely different color. We can go for something similar to the ray we are using. And I think we have to fix a little bit this one. Let's try with 8, and I like to try another thing, and I mean we can have this one with something like that, but this map will be let's say a noise, a turbulence, swoop, and let's say something like that. So we have this map visible there, but for sure I think we have to scale it. Let's try with 1. Let's see what we can have. It is little, so we have to go for a bigger map. Let's try with 10 because I like to see it. It is still too little. Okay. Now we can have it as let's say an add map, and let's go there for to have it as an addition, maybe less visible, and let's see how it looks. Okay, and we can also have this one on the self-illumination, and let's check again. Okay, we can also animate this map, so auto key, and at the end let's say that the phase is 5. We have obviously to check it, but let's say that we have to planet base, diffuse map, and we need the map tree, the noise, the phase. Okay, and there we have linear and linear there too. Remove auto key, save, and let's make a preview, maybe 200 frames, so we can see if the map is going in the right way. Now I'm going to check the preview. I'm opening the file. That's the speed is slow, so we can go maybe for double speed. So back inside the material editor, the curve editor, maps, diffuse, maps tree, map, and phase. There we have 5. We can say 10. Okay, close, and we have what we need. Okay, let's say that we need to have this map on the self illumination, and we need this one and this one. So on the self illumination, actually we have this one, and we say composite, keep all map, and the first one will be this one, copy, and there, paste. Let's say as an addition, and then let's say this one masked by this one. So copy, paste, and paste. I'm using the copy and paste because I'm not sure I will use the same parameters. Now I changed the green to white, so we should have this map. Let's see how it looks with the self-illumination. We have a little bit of lighting there, and we should have in output also the self-illumination. Let's save and let's see if it works in the right way. So let's add the self-illumination and let's try to render. So we'll see if we have also the self-illumination map, and it will be really useful in composing to make some effects over the planet. That's the self-illumination, but we have to render it on a separate path, because you see it is obviously under the cloud, so we have to remember to use this path, but we have to use it in a different way. But for the moment we can stay with the actual setup. So we have this shader now, and the final result when we are, for example, there, is this one. You see we have this green stuffs all over, but we have to tune a little bit there the map, because I like to remove an area. So we have to animate this map, and it should not have just a white color there. So let's go where we have a key there. Okay, and let's create there a key, and there we have the black color. But again we have the same problem we had before. So to do a better thing, we can remove for the moment this map, and we go to work on this path, and we copy the same as a copy, and we try to have this one must be just animated in a different way. So there we have the map in this way. So it is moving slowly, as you see. Okay, perfect. So copy, and let's go in the self-illumination and paste as a copy, because we can have access to make some changes. Let's see, for example, there. Okay, you see that we have these effects just on one area, and the other area has no effects, and where we have no effects there we have different color. Now we have, for example, also to change a little bit maybe the atmosphere, but I'd like to see how the planet looks there. Because you see we have still the atmosphere, and I think we have to make a little bit of changes. So what I mean, we have to check where the atmosphere is done, and maybe we I don't remember, but I think we done it there. So that's the atmosphere, right? So we have to tune it. So the atmosphere must be masked, and I mean we need, let's check this mask. So we should have no atmosphere where we are passing with this one. So let's try to copy this one, and let's go in reflection, and we say that we are masking the reflection completely. Let's try keep all map, and we have this map. Let's see what happened. We should have no reflection over the border, but I need to check, for example, there. Okay, it should be inverted, and now we should have on the border, and that's right. Okay, let's save, and I like to see what happens when it is more, for example, there. So you see we should have a little bit less atmosphere to the border, and you see that we are changing it, but now we have again the atmosphere there. And I mean it can be something like a deformer of the atmosphere, so we can have lower atmosphere when we are passing with this one. So let's go there, and let's try in this way. We should have just a little bit less atmosphere where we are passing with this ray. Okay, that's really not bad. So save, and we should have everything. Now we have to think about the clouds, because we are using just a dark area, but it should be maybe interesting to see if we can deform the shadows, the clouds. We have just to decide if we like to go so in depth, trying to figure also how to deform clouds, or we prefer to lose less time and move to the particles and all the other stuff. And I think that it will be the best way, because we need to have less lesson to finalize this series. So I think that for the moment we done all we need on the ground there. So we changed the shader, and in the next part we'll work just to separate the spaces to render the final planet look before we start to break all the stuffs, and we add also the particles and the thing, because we have to start working also on the stuffs. So for the moment that's all, and I hope to see you back on Max Cookie to check for new tutorial coming from cgcookie.com. Bye.